Alright, today I'm going to be covering Alien Life Simulator. So I mentioned this game in a video a while back where I covered this game 2 years ago, and then the developer reached out to me and told me he updated it. So I did check it out and I think I'm kind of ready. I'm starting it from the very beginning because I like to show the game at the very beginning so y'all see the boring parts, y'all see all the flaws and unfun bits as well as the good parts, because I'm not gonna cut those out and make a hyper edited video where I only focus on the good things or the bad things. So for starters, we have a load screen. It does take a little bit. So at first it used to just stay at a number and then load everything at the end, so it was very confusing and I was like, is the game broken? And I mentioned that to the developer, and guess what, he fixed it. Alright, so here we're just gonna go to single player. You can pick different body types. You do have to unlock them with keys later. Keys are obtained by just playing the game. I like the athlete because the movement speed is the fastest. And here you have your choice of starting weapons. And these also cost keys. I haven't tried all the guns, but my recommendation is the assault rifle because it has the largest clip. And with decent damage. For abilities, I'm gonna stick with grapple rope and probability blast. I gotta use this. Okay. So this is just basically like Spider-Man. You can enter a name here if you want, and then you can also choose between male or female, and then get some badonkadonks going. Alright. So there's a lot of things improved. So you used to be, there was a slider here. That was very confusing because you only had 2 selections. So there is no more slider. And then this part didn't really work very well. So now everything is a lot better. There's also difficulty sliders now. You start at easy and then you go into normal and hard. Because the game is a little bit hard in the very beginning. Because you start with the default pistol. We're going to go into easy. This part is a little bit laggy. Also, this guy has an intro sequence, and I just disabled the voice audio so you don't hear it. Oh, let me turn it on for you.
No hard feelings about my drones. I do require a favor, though. 3 enemies,
Yep, I'm gonna
formidable and dangerous.
turn it off. Alright. So in easy mode, you start with the gun. They added this. Is fantastic because the pistol is kind of, it's very crappy, obviously intentionally. Alright, so I'm going to be going over the game as well as going over some general strategies because while I was playing and the developers dropped by and they're giving me tips, and I was like, wow, this makes a lot more sense. I picked the planet and here are the coordinates. Okay. So if you've seen gameplay of this game 2 years ago, it's vastly different and it does look a lot better and it does feel a lot better as well. Okay. Oh. Did I lower the effects volume? I think I did. I don't know why I did that. Okay. There we go. Interesting. I never tried a sword before, so this is the first for me. Anyways, there is some platforming in the game. It is a bit on the weaker side. However, if you unequip your weapon by pressing 3, basically a slot with no weapon equipped, then you can take it off and you will not use stamina. Alright. I like the poison build, so we'll stick with that for now. There is one change they're working on, so if you notice there is a map. And it's pretty bright, so this is your arrow right here. And it's very hard to tell where you are when you're on a glowy section, so they're working on that, but okay, for now. This is a roguelite. Press right click to kind of zoom in a little bit. Quick note here, because these are health packs I'm picking up, by the way. If you press V, you can use a health pack. It took me a while. Okay, I like stacking poison damage and poison lifesteal. So every island, basically the gameplay loop is you go look for buffs, and then shrines will change the buff you have or give you more buffs than what you're running. Okay. It looks pretty easy now because it's on easy mode, but let me tell you fellas, when I was playing when there was no easy mode and there were hordes of monsters chasing you everywhere, it gets really hard. So I appreciate this change. Get some health regen. So back to what I was saying, the general gameplay loop is you're exploring the islands, those little chests give you buffs. The treasure chest may give you a weapon. Heal, it does use stamina. Okay. Yeah. It's blue mod? Hold up. Yeah, weird. I usually have this off. Okay. My settings got changed or something. I don't know what happened here. Okay. It's too glowy. Yeah, the poison lifesteal. So how this works is you have emotions. Apathy is the first one. So whenever you use your first gun, it uses apathy. And you'll use up the ammo, and then, but it will charge up the next one. Sad. And you have two abilities, one movement and one offensive, and it also uses whatever emotion you have selected. So if I were to pick my grapple, which is Q, and I grapple here, as you can see, use my apathy. It'll use whatever emotion you have. So using my apathy will charge up my sadness. Sadness will charge up the next emotion, and etc. And each emotion has its own buff. So apathy has the poison. I think sadness has like the bleed. You can have different builds in the game. It's ideal to max out like one build. Everything does stack though. And it doesn't matter which weapon you have, whatever abilities you have work with all the weapons you have. Okay. Those things right there are shrines right there. So that will give you the chance to either move on to different emotions, which give you different buffs, or stick with the emotion you have. Let me just go show you what it's like. So when I was first playing, I was just like running around trying to stay alive. Didn't really know what I was doing or what I was supposed to do, and then once they explained it, I was like, oh, that makes more sense. So here, this is where you start, and these are the other emotions. If you select this, we move on to sadness, and then when we open a chest, the glowy chest, we get different buffs. If we pick this, we'll just stay in apathy. More poison chance. So how my build works is I like to increase poison chance, poison damage, and poison lifesteal. There's one where poison damage stacks based on how much health you have, and so I get a lot of health as well. So what I do is I just shoot enemies and I run around and wait for them to die to the poison. If you see a name next to the enemy, like apathetic, that means apathy weapons won't work on it as well, so you have to switch. So the intention behind the design is to get you to switch weapons so that you're using something that's effective against the enemy and also constantly generating the ammo. Oh me, this is almost died there. Does less damage. I'm gonna have to use this because it's safer. So that's a laser wall. You can't go through it until you kill the enemies required. And then you can go fight the boss. I don't think I explored everything here. Let me just double check. Yeah, I probably left some things. It's okay. I'm just gonna move on. This part here, they don't spawn as quickly. I have to go out towards the edge here. Seems like the spawns area is not. Oh, there's a chest there too. I don't know if I got that one. So obviously the game isn't perfect. There's a lot of work that could be done. The developer is very passionate about the game, so super willing to get feedback. I was streaming the game and then the dude drops by my channel all the time now. That's awesome. Okay, I can just run. God, these yo, these guys are so fast, dude. You see the poison is doing lifesteal and it's hurting this guy over time. Okay. Oh, that's not the best matchup, but this is hilarious. You can't hit me. Wait a second. Uh-oh. It's kind of dangerous because he can stun lock you. This is actually funny. I found an exploit. Please don't fix this. I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, so there's 3 bosses, and then these don't block bullets, and they're just standing there shooting while spawning enemies. When the enemies spawn, you can't hurt them, so you have to kill the enemies, and then you can fight the boss. So one of the things the developer has in mind is to have different boss types that fight differently. So that's in the works as well. This you can miss this, by the way. Also, that moves a little bit fast, so I mentioned that maybe make that a little bit easier to jump on this thing. Because I think I almost missed it last time. The first time I played, I mean. Okay. Alright, press and hold B to go back to the ship, and then you go through the other planets. So you click this. Okay. You can get a feel for a general layout of the place. I think having a map where it shows where the treasure chests are and all that might help. These crystals are basically ammo for your emotions. Okay. Okay. I think that's me over here. I think. So, I was thinking, I don't like the state of modern game design. I think it's in a really bad place, and I think it's... Honestly, I think, we're to blame for most of it because we reward certain behaviors. So, what I'm trying to mention is, I was having a chat with a buddy too about this, where it's kind of weird how we're willing to spend hundreds to thousands of hours doing highly repetitive micro tasks that are really not skill based or actual fun, but we do it because it increases the meter, or like you see a number go up. And modern gameplay design is based on that, so it gives you a micro task immediately. Now, not every game does this, but generally speaking, if you had a game that didn't have a progression system, people will get bored immediately. They want to unlock stuff, but they want the number to go up all the time. So it's like we want it, but at the same time we grow tired of it because it is highly repetitive and extremely time consuming. So it's a fine balancing act of like, how do you design a game where you have enough... Okay, screw this, I'm just gonna use tether. So no apathy, I'm gonna switch to Sandus and then just tether up there. Wee, I'm Spider-Man. Okay. No. You know what, screw this, I'll just tether up there. Yeah, the platforming is the weakest part, but going back to what I was saying, like, how do you balance having that dopamine drip of a content treadmill and constant progression versus like focusing on just the fun, it's a hard balancing act, because if you don't have that, then gamers might feel quote-unquote bored. But if you do have that, then you kind of risk making or diluting the overall vision and core of the game that you had planned. If you play old games, you'll notice that they're very basic and they only focus on the main gameplay mechanics. Like, I remember playing Stubbs the Zombie recently, because they re-released it. And you know what? It's a very fun game. It's a very silly game. It's very goofy. But if you look at the design of it, it would be considered very basic. There's not not many things to the game. You do unlock some new abilities, and it gives you basically a playground to test those abilities. There's no like numbers going up, meters going up. The levels are pretty sparse. They're like just corridors. Yeah, there's little rooms here. If you fight 3 waves, you unlock a treasure chest. Okay. Let the poison kill him. You know, I also noticed that competitive matchmaking is also a trick to keep playing. So it's the easiest and cheapest way if you consider how to increase replayability for a game, a multiplayer game. You add a competitive mode, because if you're climbing ranked, that's hundreds of thousands of hours. And I know most of y'all have played like League, Dota Superior, Overwatch, Rocket League, a lot of people play ranked. I used to play a lot of Apex. It's all a scam, and it's all documented. So, they are designing these systems to purposefully take as much of your time as possible. Like it's not about having a fair system. It's about wasting your time. Uh-oh. Okay. I have a love-hate relationship with the pistol. Okay. Well, how do we get out of here now? So when I was playing the game, it was very janky at first and obtuse, and then having the developers explain it did help me understand the game faster. And just seeing a person who wants to make a game because they really want to, it was very refreshing. So I wanted to support that as much as possible. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, the game's awesome. You should go out and buy it." That's not my job. My job is to show the game as accurately and transparently as possible without trying to color anyone's perception if possible. Now, I'm not perfect at doing that, but I do try my best. Sometimes my own biases come in where like I hate something, so no matter how hard I try, I'm always gonna have a negative bias towards something, even though it might be perfectly fine. A great example of that is Democracy 4, I think, where I was like, yo, there's no way anyone's gonna like this game. And guess what? There are literally thousands of people who love that game. And I was like, wow, that's weird. I don't know who I like. So what I understood as I played more games is that there is a game for everybody. Like, no matter what the game is, even if you think no one will like it, there's gonna be at least one person that likes it, So it's not for me to be like, oh, since I hate this game, my opinion is important. It's more like, I gotta find the person that will like this game. Sometimes it's hard to predict who will like what game, though. So when I think about it, in terms of marketing, the question I ask is like, what is the reason that someone will want to play this game over literally anything else, right? Like playing other games, watching TV, movies, anime. My homies are talking about Oppenheimer. Well, it looks cool, I guess, but I'm not really psyched about it, but I will watch it. You can read a book, you can go touch grass, take a walk, ride a bike, work out, whatever. And so for someone to convince you to consume whatever they made, they have to give you a reason, right? So for this one, it's not necessarily the gameplay. I don't think there's anything outstanding about it. I'm just gonna be honest. But there is one aspect that I think you can't get anywhere else, is direct access to a developer who will listen. And if I read Overwatch forums for fun. It's a cancerous place. Don't go there. But a lot of people complain. A lot of people mention things, and developers don't listen, and that's okay because we're not entitled to have our opinions heard. I was mentioning this, but like, as a consumer of games, I know when things don't feel good for me, but I don't know how to make it feel better. Like, for example, I was mentioning for the combat where I think the enemy attack animations could have better feedback, but it's like, how do you do that? Is it the sound effects? Is it the animation effects? Like, I don't know. As a person who just plays games, I don't know. So I can't, I can't really give a solution to anything. But if anyone wants criticism or feedback, I'll be as honest as possible. But also another thing is, a lot of people playing games just don't understand the game. When the developers drop by and they're explaining to me like how the game works, I was like, oh, I was I was playing it completely wrong. But in my defense, the mechanics are a little obtuse, and I have to spend a lot of time to figure it out on my own. It's not something that you can figure out just by looking at things. You kind of have to experiment, which is very true to the spirit of old school games. Oh, I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. Okay. This is where it gets a swarm of enemies, and they just start chasing you. Okay. Yeah, like in Overwatch forums, people say you need to nerf this, nerf that. And I'm like, wow, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Most of them are like bronze players or silver or gold. So clearly, if developers listen to everybody, it would make the game objectively worse. So I am not of the opinion that developers need to listen to everybody, but in general, when you see big developers making blunders, and they don't listen to anybody, and the game becomes worse as a product, you hate to see it. Overwatch 2 is dying. The people who like the game are not going to have a problem with it. It's going to be okay for the foreseeable future, but golly, dude, my goodness. I'm going to skip the shrine. Okay. So this guy, developer Justin6, will sit there and listen to everything I'm saying about the game, and then you know what? This mad lad, he implements the changes right away, like literally the next day. The craziest thing that blew my mind was he was on vacation, he was sick, and he was watching my VODs, and whatever I was criticizing, he fixed that the next day working on a laptop and pushed out the updates. I think that's wild. The first time I seen something like that. And then he went back and rewatched my other VODs, and then he implemented a lot of the changes where I was like saying, oh, this could be better, or like I don't understand this part. And so that change came out today. And anytime I'm streaming, or like even uploading YouTube videos, he's there, like supporting me. So I was like, dude, this guy, respect, dude, respect. So clearly he really cares about his game, and having direct access to a developer like that, especially someone who will, take your feedback and implement it, I've never seen that before. So that's something this game has that other games don't. So that interests you. If you want to be part of a game that is constantly evolving, this might be something up your alley. If you support the developer a little bit, he will support you a lot. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Gotta figure out the spawn locations, because this did happen a few times where enemies were spawning a little bit slowly. I think I have to stand in a certain place. Or they might be, I saw this happen a few times where they just fall through textures sometimes and then just are stuck underground, or just despawn. Oh wait, this is open. I can go further in? No? Alright. See, I show everything. A lot of people who make like coverage or previews or reviews would cut everything out. I understand as a person just watching these that this is extremely boring, but I have to show what the game feels like to play. I'm not gonna give you an optimal experience where it holds your attention. I want to show what it's like actually to play the game. So I do this for almost every game I play. Now sometimes I do make edited reviews, but I also still make the preview. So we'll wait for the enemies to show up. But yeah, the developer is great. I want to help him succeed, so I'm doing my best to give him all the support I can. I wish I was a bigger YouTuber or streamer so I can get more eyeballs on this game, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, maybe I can grapple my way out of here and then try to get the enemies to spawn, or maybe there's like one person I didn't get to kill somewhere. It is still a little buggy. Okay. If not, we can just call it here, dude. This is fine. Okay, let me see. Let's try to Spider-Man my way out of here. By the way, there is a funny build you can do. You can get unlimited jumps if you can roll for jumps, and you can just jump everywhere like non-stop. Okay, let me see if I can get this shrine, and then we'll see what's causing this. Get the let's just more damage, and then we'll see if enemies spawn. I think there might be something bugged here. I'm gonna jump off the map and respawn, and hopefully that fixes it. Shoot, I should have gotten the on that one more jump. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's no fall damage. You respawn back. Oh, sometimes. Okay, there are respawn points, and if you are far away from it, you land back at the ship. Uh-oh. Where are we going? Okay. Fear not, everything is still the way it was, so you don't have to do stuff over other than just backtracking to where you went. Oh, the map shows the ship. That's a bug. Found another bug. Crazy part is this guy will probably fix it after he watches this. But yeah, if you want like direct access to a living, breathing human being, which is so rare these days, this game is the game for you. Yeah, it's so rare because I do a lot of games coverage, or I used to. I did 500 games in the span of 3 years. I slowed down a lot because I was like, I can't do this anymore. And let me tell you, the number of people that will actually write back to you in an email is so low that it is very sad. A lot of people, I don't know. I guess like in terms of communication, I don't know if it's because everyone's a lot younger or like the etiquette has changed, but you know, it used to be that you should shoot a short email back, like thank you or goodbye or you know something to notify the other person that you got their email. But people rarely do that now, so. Okay, now they're respawning. Must have been some sort of bug. Oh, I think that guy spawns enemies. I think the developer was mentioning an enemy that spawns smaller creatures. That must have been it. Okay. Run away. Yeah, one thing I mentioned was like the stamina cooldown was way too long, or usage rate was too high. So I mentioned that, you know, for this game you don't really need it, especially the platforming sections. So I changed it where if you don't have a weapon equipped and you are just running, jumping, you have unlimited stamina. It feels amazing. Let's see if I can bypass the jumping part and just Spider-Man my way up here. Oh! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not like this. Another thing he added that I really appreciated is I was like, dude, it takes too long to reload. So he increased the mag size on some of the weapons and decreased the reload time, and it feels a lot better now. Because the pistol is your starting weapon and it does very little damage. And it would just, you know, eat up ammo and then you would be screwed. Just run around trying not to die. Okay, please let me Spider-Man. Looks like I have to do it the old-fashioned way. Fine. Ooh, chill. Uh-oh. At least good news is I'm killing them. Enough of them to lower the laser walls. Okay. So that's crazy, like, cause when you're making a game by yourself, you have to have an actual job to support yourself, and then you make the game in your free time. And let me tell you, that's it's not as easy as it sounds. Cause if you work a regular job, you're extremely tired mentally and physically and emotionally. So to have the willpower to work on something that might not pay dividends immediately in terms of like, you know, feeling validated with what you made, or maybe not necessarily validated, but satisfaction. Oh, can I go up and cheese this guy with the sword? Oh my god, is sword the greatest weapon? Is it the greatest weapon? Oh my, oh, okay, oh, that's a little too close. Oh, okay, I'm gonna die. It was a joke. It was relax. Oh, that is very loud. I'm still gonna do it. I don't care. I'm going up. come here. It's very funny. If you attack him right, he can't hit you. Okay. Whoa! Wait! Don't kill me. Okay. I like shooting them with the poison, so everyone has some poison. So I'm life stealing off of it, and they're slowly dying. See how he's dying slower because his apathy in the name. He just like takes way less damage. If I can master this technique, it'll be super funny. I guess sword. Wow. You fool. The sword is mightier than the bazooka. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit hard to get onto. Wait a second. Why can't I deselect my weapon? There we go. Alright. No! Okay, yeah. God dang it. I'll get it eventually. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, more poison damage, nice. Okay. I think I can call it quits here because the third world is pretty much the same, and after you beat the boss, you just get an end screen that shows your XP and how many keys you got. If you want to see how much the game has changed, if you don't believe me, go check out my video from 2 years ago. Greatly different game. It definitely looks a lot better. It feels a lot better too. Oh. If you have lifesteals, melee is viable. Okay. I guess the minus damage plus health would work because I have poison damage based on my HP. Alright, why don't we call it quits here? The game is Alien Life Simulator. If you want to check it out, it's out now. The developer is a cool guy if you want to talk to him. He's Justin6 on Twitch, and I will link his YouTube channel as well. Friendly fella. The person who does the artwork is... Shoot, I forgot his Twitch handle. Baxel, I think? Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. I love talking to devs, you know, even publishers, PR people, whatever. I love all of that. I love video games as a whole. It's sad because, like, after having grinded so much coverage, I kind of burned out. And for a very long time, I just didn't want to play a game unless I was making content on it. Okay, we'll call it quits. That's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll try my best to answer. I'll link the developer's Twitch and YouTube, and also the Steam store page. As always, I know my content isn't what you guys want to watch. Most people want to watch, but thank you for the few people that stick around. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time. Just jump off the map. Wee. Okay. See you guys later.